So Dennis, you are by far what I consider to be the foremost thought leader on Black success and wealth creation, okay? And I know you well enough to know that your commitment is to the work and to the struggle, okay? And wanting us to get to the point where we are becoming wealthy and more self-empowering and self-determining. What was it that made you decide to take on this passion? What came in you that got you into this?
Number one, thanks, Hutch. Hey, man, I love you, my brother. Thanks for having me here. And Bill Picard, I mean, he's an icon in terms of entrepreneurship. But arguably, the best advice I received, two pieces of advice. One, when I was at Northwestern working on my doctorate, my committee chair said to me, he said, Dennis, don't look at your dissertation as a requirement that you're fulfilling for your degree. He said, look at it as your first book. So I defended my dissertation, and literally a couple of months, if that, later, I turned to my wife and I said, Pat, I know my first book. And she said, good. And I said, you know how I studied wealth and poverty among underdeveloped nation states? She said, yeah. I said, well, I'm going to make a change. I said, number one, I don't want to study poverty. And number two, I don't want to study underdeveloped nation states. I want to study African Americans. So I'm a Johnny-come-lately to this, Hutch. I haven't done anything special. You praise me and what I've done. I'm a teacher. I'm in the classroom every Tuesday and Thursday, been doing that for more than 30 years. But the fact of the matter is that Black America's most prolific scholar, W.B. Du Bois, he wrote the seminal book in 1897 called The Negro in Business. Now, the only way you're going to get a copy of that book is go to some of your better university libraries, and we have one at Clark, Atlanta, the Woodruff Library that's in the AUC with Clark, Morehouse, and Spelman. And all the librarians know me in the library. I come in there, and if I want to see the book, they'll place me in a carrel, they'll put the white gloves on, and they will bring the book out, sit outside the room that I'm in there, flipping through the pages. But if you just read the first 30 pages of that book, Du Bois has two profound statements. He said, number one, the man or woman who won't control his or her finances won't control anything else. Now, when he says anything else, he means that if you don't care about the money in your pocket, what do you care about high school dropout rates of Black America? You don't care about the money in your pocket. What do you care about black on black crime? And then number two, he says, nothing positive will ever occur in the community that fails to circulate its dollars. He said that in 1897. When you look at black buying habits, no one circulates money more than East Indians. The average dollar stays in the East Indian community for minimum 45 days before leaving. Number two is the Asian community, 24 days before leaving. Number three, the Jewish community, 19 days before leaving. But Black America, 6 hours. And it wasn't always like that. When you go back to 1921, Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I knew this within the first year I was at the University of Oklahoma undergraduate. Those 3,600 square blocks, Greenwood, Archer, and Pine, you had more than 600, 700 black businesses. They told me in 1921, the black dollar stayed in that community a year and a half before leaving.